Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of GLAMMIR, and I don't have to give an intro to this next guest I have. I have Mr. Kellan Lutz here.
Oh, shucks. Thanks for having me.
I mean, hello and welcome back to New York.
Yes, I love it. My second home.
You were here this week for the New York Men's Fashion Week.
I am.
And you are the CDFA ambassador.
I am.
And that's what brings you back here, right?
Yes.
What are the roles of being a CDFA ambassador?
You know, I mean, it's a blessing, first off, and such an honor. For me, it's the role of just being authentic. You know,
Yeah.
I love fashion, and I think working with CFDA, they see that and they know that about me. And when they asked me to be the ambassador, I jumped at the opportunity. I haven't been to New York Fashion Week in a good couple years now. Been quite busy doing movies around the world. But fashion for me it's always been a passion of mine. That's why I love attending the Men's Fashion Week,
Yeah.
Especially seeing all the new up-and-coming brands and going to some of my other favorites. So it's just very authentic to who I am, and just being real and having fun.
I like that word authentic because when I think of fashion, I don't often use that word authentic. I think of creative, inspirational, cutting edge, but not authentic. Why is it authentic to you? What makes it authentic to you?
Well, I think as a designer, you want to be all those things that you listed, but someone who is then wearing the clothes, you feel and your confidence is key. So being authentic in what you're wearing, as long as it's within your repertoire of the styling that you can do, because I learned from past experiences when I was maybe trying to be a little too creative, it just wasn't me, and then the clothes were wearing me.
I get it.
Versus me wearing the clothes. So being authentic to this, being there, going to the shows that I love, wearing the pieces, for the fittings even, they can give you a lot of options. If you don't know who you are, then you're going to maybe pick something or be led to wear something that isn't you, then you're going to feel uncomfortable and not enjoy it for what it all has to give.
And I love that because what you're saying is if you are authentic to yourself, then when you wear the clothes, you truly feel confident and comfortable in them. But part of that is knowing what you are and who you are. And that's why you make a great ambassador. I mean, I've never really heard it put that way.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's fab. So what are your kind of favorite designers that you have that you're going to be seeing this week? Do you have some that you're looking forward to getting in touch with and seeing and being at their shows?
Yeah, of course. This year's a great year.
It is. It's gotten really cool, hasn't it?
It's gotten really cool.
It's really gotten
a lot of the styles, a lot of the designers are going really creative and edgy and trying a lot of new things.
Do you like creative and edgy?
I love it. I'm an actor, so I kind of have to.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, get out of the industry.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of funny because men's clothing can be so boring, but then it's become like a little bit cooler, a little bit more edgy, and I like to see confident men wearing edgy clothes. I just do. And that's what you
I appreciate that you say that because I love trying new things. Obviously I don't go too crazy. I know where my wheelhouse is, but yeah, I think there's a lot of seasonal trends that people try and follow. So when the season goes up, much like the roller coaster of being creative and allowing that freedom to try new things and to push the boundaries, and I just did a couple fittings where I not to give too much away, but really love them bringing back this classic look and feel and just kind of
what makes it classic? The texture, the cut?
I feel like men, they wear a lot of muted colors, earthy colors, which is fun. That's a safe pick. But with some of the outfits that I tried on, I really enjoyed the freedom of the design and the looseness of the fabrications. For me, it's all about the quality of the fabric, how it wears, and a lot of big guys love wearing stuff that's really tight. It accentuates the muscles, and we all like showing what we have. And
girls do it too.
Girls do it as well.
I like showing what I have, but yeah.
But going back to the classic Frank Sinatra era, where it's just like, little baggier, little more fun. It's not so restricting.
You know what I miss about that era when I look at photos is how people took the time to pay attention to what they look like. And I feel like people don't do that anymore. Styles have become a lot more casual, and I like to see it become a little more, put some effort into it. That's what I think of.
Well, I view it quite the opposite in regards. I feel like people are too meticulous with what they're wearing because it's like, the yellow band stripe with the yellow band,
You think it's too matchy-matchy?
There's a guy in high school that his name was Cole, and he had the thing is, I don't mind it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I can't pull it off.
Right.
It's a little too pretty on me.
I see what you
But this one guy named Cole in high school, he had best style. I mean, yellow, like it'd be a yellow, white, or just mixy matchy, but perfectly aligned. And he was always, I always saw him as very fashionable.
Right.
And I just couldn't at the time match it. I was more lumbersexual. I just,
I love that word, lumbersexual.
Yeah,
You heard it here first.
Well, yeah. So
actually, it's kind of interesting that you say that, because what you're saying is style is very unique and fashion is very, like you can have a sense of style, and that's, fashion is one thing, but style is another thing. What's your style?
Oh, there's many shades of Kellan Lutz. For me, I am, again, I'm from the Midwest, so I love my boots, my little dirty boots that I always wear. I love my denim jeans and white t-shirt, very simple.
Yeah.
And then
very rugged.
Very rugged.
And what about
outdoorsy.
like your kind of red carpet style?
I love a suit.
Yeah.
Whenever I can put a suit on, like that's my Clark Kent Superman identity. I just love wearing a very nice tailored suit, and you get to play with some accessories.
If you could play with one accessory, which one would it be?
Socks. I love socks.
Okay.
It's one of those hidden things that
you can be a little crazy with your socks.
Yeah. And my buddy who does related brands, he has a matching underwear and matching socks line, and for a guy that's very easy. You just get them, they're perfect for you.
I love that. You also modeled in conjunction with acting.
Yeah.
So does this make it a little bit more close to home, being the ambassador?
Well, I think
you're coming from that angle too.
Yeah, I think that's where my passion for fashion came along.
Yeah.
Just being a model when I started at 14, and then transitioned into acting when I was 18, and slowly slowed down the modeling because the acting took off. But I think my love for fabrics and the quality of fabrics and the different brands from all the ones that I've attended or just worn, that's what actually helped my clothing line. I have a clothing line called Abbott & Maine that I started 5 years ago. So it's been really great to have inspiration for my own passion projects, and then also coming to these New York fashion weeks and fashion weeks around the world.
There's inspiration everywhere in New York. Like the street style is pretty fabulous. You know, just walking down the street you can get inspiration. Do you draw your inspiration from street style magazines? Where do you get your inspiration from?
From me.
Yeah.
I guess there's some people, like Brad Pitt has amazing style.
Yeah.
He's it's very just cool and collected and thrown together.
And he doesn't wear his clothes. Like his clothes don't wear him.
Yeah,
He's very confident that way.
But, yeah.
Is your goal, like you said, you have a clothing line? Is your goal to get more into kind of doing your own line, maybe globally because of everything you've been through and everything you're known for?
Well, ideally that would be an honor. I love these American brands. I'd love to create another line that's a little bit more rugged for myself, and because Abbott & Maine is very Venice Beach thing, cool, casual. Maybe do an offset line, but that's why I really love a lot of these American brands that I'm going to go see. Just getting inspiration and seeing their creative direction that they're going, and talking to the lead designers, and it's
so you'd like to be really hands-on.
I love being hands-on. I even designing it, going to the fabric places and touching the hand of the material. I love that. I'm not a perfectionist, but when it's for me, it's
what you like.
I know what I like.
Yeah.
I know what I like.
I had heard you're working on global branding, opening up in the Asia Pacific. Why is that market so important to you?
Well, the Asian market is massive.
Yeah.
It's growing even in my film industry.
Yeah.
China is surpassing America in the box office. I have a film that I did called The Nest with Kelsey Grammer and Lee Bingbing, who is huge. She's like the Taylor Swift of...
Isn't it insane when you see them and their elements, how unbelievably...
She's amazing, so sweet.
I saw her at a Vera Wang, no. I saw her at a show for New York Fashion Week last year, and I didn't know who she was, and she was in the front row, and she had massive amounts of photographers around her, and I didn't know, and then once I realized who she was, I cannot believe the fans and the following she has. So that's amazing for you. Obviously, your brand became globally well known. I would be remiss to not talk about Twilight. Yeah. Let's talk about Twilight.
Sure.
I know that you've had a lot that you're doing, but when you started filming for that, how old were you? It took several years out of your, career.
Yeah.
Were you in your early 20s?
2007, so what's that, 9 years ago? I was 22. Yeah, 22.
So that obviously was a global phenomenon, and that took you to levels. And what kind of thing, when you look back at that, being 22 years old, being from the Midwest, having modeled, and now all of a sudden you're thrown into this, how does somebody handle that?
Well, thank God I had a mother who used a paddle this big.
Yeah, and you also have
spank
like
me
7
with-
siblings.
And yeah, I have 6 brothers and 1 sister. So whenever we sort of got out of line, we quickly got pulled down by the others. You know, I just have a great family.
Which is really what you were talking about very big early on, being authentic. Like when
Yeah.
I kind of was doing my homework on you, I thought, well, this is a guy who came from the Midwest, has 7 siblings, and catapulted to stardom. That kept you grounded. That kept you authentic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think there are times, not to be honest, like I didn't know what Twilight was.
Right.
As soon as fans started showing up at set, I
Yeah.
didn't know it was a book series. We all lost ourselves.
Yeah.
Some a
How
bit
could you not?
longer.
Yeah.
And you Google your name.
Yeah.
But that lasted 6 months because as soon as I read one bad comment,
Really.
and it just like took away everything, I was like, never again.
Never
and that's why I
again.
don't like being on my phone.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like
I think you have to get off
looking
the
down.
grid.
I want to look up. I want to see the world. I want to see what's right in front of me, who's in front of me.
Yeah.
This will always be there, and it's kind of numbing when you're just hitting reload every 5 minutes.
Well, see, I think that's what you were talking about with authenticity. It keeps you grounded. You are
Yeah.
understanding that this is your career, but it's not who you are. You know who you are.
Yeah.
Do you miss the Cullens? Do you miss that part of your life? Like, what do you think about when you look back at it? Because you've come so far since then.
Wow. Yeah, what a chapter in life. But I think that's the blessing about lives. You know, the more chapters you can have in life, good or bad, makes your book colorful.
Yeah.
And for me, the Twilight era, those 5 years for 5 movies, was such a key chapter in my life. But it opened up so many more doors
Yeah, it's
for
a
me
platform.
to experience more of who I am, learn more about who I am, and also do other things that I'm passionate about. Like I love traveling and getting inspiration from around the world. I get to go to Italy, I get to
Yeah.
go to Spain and even Thailand and China and see these new looks for fashion that I really like.
But we get to travel.